On today's episode, we want to talk about what makes up the ready-to-wear business clothing pricing. What makes up the pricing of a ready-to-wear garment. First of all, you do not compare the process of ready-to-wear, producing a ready-to-wear, with your custom garment making, because the custom garment making, you can just call up on your tailor at any time, give them your fabric, they take your measurements, they create the design, you go in for fittings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fittings, and sometimes even more fittings, and they can continue to adjust it. Meanwhile, in a ready-to-wear business, there is no room for all of that because we want to deal in numbers, all right? So preferential treatments, special arrangement for fittings, no room for that. So a ready-to-wear brand has to get it right in sizing and design. Now let's go to the details. First thing that takes your money in ready-to-wear production is the pre-production processes. And these pre-production processes has nothing to do at all with fabric. Before you even talk about how many yards of fabric, what fabric is needed, arrangements needs to be made for, number one, the clear communication of ideas and designs. So usually when the brand owner have figured out what design they want to do in their own minds, they have been able to put it together, what the sleeve will look like, the bodies, the skirt, what kind of fitting, what kind of message, emotion they want to pass across. It now has to be put down in an illustration so that they can easily communicate this same idea with their team members. Because you having an idea is not enough. Others have to be able to key into that idea, and that is the only way they can be able to replicate this idea for you in ready-to-wear garments that people can purchase off from your rack. So your pre-production process requires you to hire an illustrator, a fine artist to put down the images, and sometimes people go as far as going to attend fashion shows abroad just to be able to put together these their ideas, visualize it, and then come back home to put down their own unique design with all the details that they need. So your pre-production steps is the beginning of the success or not success of your collection, and this requires money. Each product that is produced from this process has to also pay for this process. Even though you cannot see it, it is not visible. You as a customer that is buying, you don't know what happened in the pre-production, you don't know what country the brand owner traveled to, how much they spent in airplane tickets, how much the illustrator took, how much the fine artist took to put together that design just for the purpose of communication. That alone takes a lot of money. After that, you now go into design development. After you have figured out what your illustration is, you know what the sleeve will look like, the length will look like, what sizes do you want to produce in, what fabrics do you want to produce in, and all that. Once you know this, you now begin to put all those illustrations and details into practicality, because sometimes you have designs that have been put down in drawing on paper and they are not functional in real life. And how do you know this? You only get to know this when you do your sample development, when you do your design development. This is also a process that you customers buying a ready-to-wear garment does not see directly. So it's not just about, oh, I like this style, this is the fabric, and how many yards of fabric, 10 yards, 15 yards, and take, sew it, then sew it. Let me shock you. That same dress that your custom tailor did for you, okay, that same design that you took to your custom tailor and they reproduced it for you, and it was successful, fine, you were able to wear it. Ask them to do that same design in 20 more places. Then come back and tell me how many out of that 20 you are able to sell. Then, once you come back and tell me, then you will know and understand what ready-to-wear business go through and the importance of pre-production processes and design development. Until then, please do not castigate ready-to-wear business owners for their pricing. Don't do it. After design development, that is when you can now talk about fabric sourcing. So you all just start with, hey, is it not creep 1,500 naira per yard? You use 5 yards. How come it's 1,000? Those other processes also contribute to the cost of that ready-to-wear garment. And even when they cut it short, if you do not go through these processes, you still get to pay the price. Now, fabric sourcing. Fabric sourcing right now in Nigeria is another challenge for ready-to-wear business owners because of consistency. You see this fabric today. Don't forget, many of them are doing business with limited resources. Fabric sourcing. Now, this comes after your design have been developed. This is why many customers, they just start with, is it not 1,500 naira per yard? Creepies, forgetting all the other processes that production has gone through even before fabric sourcing. And fabric sourcing on its own has its own challenge. Oh, don't forget, we have limited options in our market. Consistency. Many ready-to-wear business owners are working with limited resources, and if I say limited resources, I'm not talking about 500,000, I'm talking about 1 million naira. If you're doing ready-to-wear business with 10 million naira, your resources is still limited. So if you're in that category who don't have billions to do ready-to-wear business, you only get to buy your fabrics in small quantities at a time. Remember, they want to give you lovely designs. They want to make sure you have varieties to choose from when you're shopping. The same customers will castigate them and say, why is it that there's only one design that is on your page? Why am I not seeing multiple designs? I want more designs to choose from and stuff like that. So they want to satisfy you. The resources they have is what they will use to purchase fabrics. And once they purchase this fabric, trust me, by the time they are going back again to restock, is another story upon story upon story. So sometimes when ready-to-wear business come and tell you, oh, this design is sold out, it might not be that it's actually sold out. It might be that the pricing has changed in the market, and they don't even know how to tell you that the price you bought that garment the last time is no longer the same price. If not, they're still trying to avoid your dragging and you calling them out and saying they're cheats, they agree. Because in the past few days, I've seen people call ready-to-wear business owners all so many different unthinkable names, which I think is not fair, and that is why I'm doing this, to educate you all. And probably we all see these people and their effort and appreciate them much more. After fabric sourcing, then we now go to actual production itself. For your production to happen, you need so many things. You need facility and equipment. Equipment are not cheap. Operators of these equipment, you need them. You need human beings, skilled persons. You need management, because you cannot just keep equipment, have a facility, a store, a production floor, and throw people in and tell them to be producing for you without a proper management system. You need a management system. So make sure that you're minimizing waste, to make sure that the time is being used correctly, to make sure that every team member is delivering on their job and delivering excellence. You need storage, because when you go and buy all the fabrics from China and Turkey, that Batejo show, Abba, where are you going to keep them? You need space for storage. After that, then we'll talk about post-production. So let's assume that your production was successful and everybody you put on board delivered as expected. If not, you will still remain in production. So post-production now, that's when you now start talking about marketing. Let's start talking about branding materials. The reason you saw that ready-to-wear garment, the reason you saw that ready-to-wear brand on Instagram is not by luck. They paid money to be able to be in your faces. So calculating the cost of ready-to-wear garment by how much the fabric costs, how many yards they are to use, and then how much your tailor would charge, then you think that's all that is involved in a ready-to-wear business, in a ready-to-wear production. No, you are not correct. Enlighten yourselves. Comparing our ready-to-wear businesses with what your tailor would sew for you, they are not the same. They are different. Because when you're in the business of production, it is different from when you are just working for family and friends. Production is real deal. It's serious business, and let's take it like that. For more guidance on your ready-to-wear business and fashion investment,